Hello and welcome. You have tuned into Buy Now, Sell Now on ET Now. I'm Srishti Sharma and with me as always is Cheryl D'Souza. And viewers, this is the show where you get answers for all your stock-related queries. In a short while from now, we will connect with our experts to get your stock-related queries answered. And viewers, you can also connect with us live on a WhatsApp number that will be flashing on the top of the screen. But talking about the market, Cheryl, an attempt for the recovery because while we were just coming to the studios, Nifty was actually down 100 points, almost 100 points, but it's just a cuts of almost 30 points right now.
Absolutely, a good recovery being staged when you talk about the benchmark indices, while the broader markets have actually succumbed to the pressure, though they are sharply off the day's highest point. But in a short while from now, you will also have the Prime Minister who will be actually speaking at the Startup Mahakumbh. He will be addressing to the entrepreneurs, so stay tuned for that. In a short while from now, you will be having that. You can see the visuals on the side of your screen where Prime Minister Modi is at the Startup Mahakumbh. Remember, today is the last day of the Startup Mahakumbh, and remember that's a forum which brings together stakeholders from world of startups, innovators, as well as upcoming entrepreneurs. And what Prime Minister a short while ago tweeted saying that India's stride in the world of startups has been phenomenal in the last few years. So we will wait for that. But yes, as you can see the visuals on the side of your screen, Prime Minister at the Startup Mahakumbh. But yes, like Shrishti mentioned about the market staging a recovery, and you can see that on your screen. You have the benchmark indices that are off the day's lowest point when it comes to small cap. I beg your pardon, when it comes to Sensex as well as Nifty. But Nifty Bank is down about 0.6% as we speak, with cuts of approximately 292 points. Advanced decline ratio skewed to the favor of the declines as of now. You have select counters that are moving in trade. One of them has to be Eicher Motors, which is the top gainer on the Nifty today on back of the big upgrade coming in for Eicher Motors. We've seen this upgrade come in after a long gap actually for the counter. Apart from that, you have Maruti Suzuki that are seeing good uptick. Nestle, Bajaj Auto are the other ones that are gaining in trade. But on the other side, you have Tata Motors, Tata Steel, Hindalco, Tata Consumer that continues to be under pressure. Add to the list as well as UPL is seeing weak moves as of now. Talking about the sectoral indices, there is the auto sector that's holding out. You have the IT sector seeing some shade of green, but it is the metals that is under pressure, PSU banks, pharma, and like I said, broader markets continue to be under pressure in trade today. Shrishti.
Okay, so that's the how the markets are panning out at right now, but we will keep taking note of where the benchmark indices head. But with this, let me welcome on board two of our very special guests for today. We are being joined by Kush Bohra on the technical side, as well as Sharmila Joshi is joining us on the fundamental side. A very good morning to both of you, and good morning to all our viewers as well. And you can connect with us live on a WhatsApp number that will be flashing on the top of your screen. And a lot of viewers have already started sending their queries. And the first query that I have, let me take it from Bishaka from Kolkata. And Sharmila, he wants to know, have a take on Gujarat Pipa Wow. I'm not sure whether you tracked this one or not, but he's holding 100 shares from a price of 1,212 rupees. What to do in this one? And he also wants an advice on stocks like PFC and RAC. Do you believe that at this point in time they are good? They are at good levels to make a fresh buy?
So first coming to Gujarat Pipavav, I think you can continue to hold. My view is a little neutral at this moment in time, given the fact that the valuation seem fairly high, but the numbers have been good. So I think you can continue to hold, and my target would be closer to 200 rupees. I'm sorry, I missed the buying price. When it comes to REC and PFC, I think I'm more positive on both these plays, and you may need to ride out the current market volatility, but I think these are stocks that you can continue to hold.
All right, this next query that is coming in from Kumar Gupta, who's writing to us from Bangalore. Kush, this one is for you. He wants to know about certain stocks that what he should do for a period of 2 years. One is IDFC First Bank. The average price is 83.5. Geo Financial also, the average price is 331. And for ITC is 447 rupees per share. What's your take coming in on all of these counters? Geo Financial definitely has seen a run up of late. You have ITC that is holding on hopefully to those moves that it has made. What's your take on IDFC First Bank?
So IDFC First Bank, I mean, this is one stock. This has actually, had a lot of promise, but haven't really delivered. Ever even before the entire banking pack started to take a knock, this stock was actually underperforming. This underperformance could continue for some time. Value buying could emerge, approaching oversold territory, so there could be rebounds. But the structure and the setup looks a little bleak right now. So for me, a critical level is at 70. If that is taken out, it could see further downside. So, this is perhaps an exit, at these positions. Geo Financial, we've been very constructive on the stocks, actually done rather well. So we're taking every dip that comes, in our stride and taking that as a buying opportunity. So Geo is a buy on dips kind of a setup. And ITC, with all that's happened around it, is a hold right now. We saw a spike that's given way. So, till the time 390 kind of levels are held, ITC is a hold.
All right, that's the take coming in on Geo Financials. But moving on to the next query that I have, and this one is coming in on Escorts. Kush helps Sarma from Hyderabad. She's holding Escorts from a price of 3,000 rupees. She's having 30 shares in her portfolio. Will that be a hold or sell at this point in time, since she's at almost 10% loss in this one?
So continue to hold. It's not really participated, with the overall sector, but it's coming close to very critical support zones. So, 2700, 2650 is a key support zone. So as long as that is held, there is a possibility that, the stock could start seeing some sort of a rebound from here. But if 2650 is taken out, then I'm afraid, it'll be best that she exit the stock and move to, some other stock. But up until that level is held, it's not a bad idea to continue holding on. The waiting period could be a little longer, but I think she should see some of her, or rather some of her losses, eradicated in the coming weeks.
This one is coming from Ramesh, who's writing to us from Hyderabad. Sharmila, he has SGS, Sirma SGS, at a price of around 500 rupees per share, 100 shares of that particular counter. He wants to know what should he do at this point in time. Should he continue to stay put with this one or hold on for the longer term?
I'm sorry, I don't.
Okay. Any take on Sirma SGS on the charts, Kush?
So the structure's gone weak. We were bullish on this for a while, but that momentum hasn't really transpired. The price action is actually missing now. The stock's below its key averages. So my suggestion would be keep 455 as your strict stop loss. If that is taken out, it could see further downside. But on the whole, the stock looks a little weak. If you're looking to buy more, add more, or enter at these points, my suggestion would be to avoid.
All right, moving on. And the next query that I have, Sharmila, is coming from Sumitra Patel. She has framed the query very well, that she wants to buy two stocks, Nalco and RITES, for a duration of 15 to 18 months. And she wants a fundamental view in both of these queries and any target price to look out for as well. Sharmila, what will be your advice?
So Nalco, overall, I'm positive on the stock, but I think what you need to bear in mind is that most of these metal stocks would broadly sort of follow what is happening on the international sort of level, because this metals as a play really follow what data coming from China or LME, etc. And we've had like mixed sort of data coming from there. So given that, you could see sort of near-term volatility in the stock, but if you have an 18-month horizon, I think that this is a stock that you should continue to hold. I'm sorry, which was the other stock? RITES, is it?
Nalco. Yeah, RITES is the other stock.
Yeah. So once again, we've had this whole period where we had saw a huge run-up in most of these sort of infrastructure, railway sort of plays, and post that we've seen a bit of a cool off in the maybe in the last couple of months or so. But once again, I think that if your horizon is of 18 months, you could continue to hold the stock. Valuations do seem a little expensive at this point in time, but since your horizon is 18 months and the stock has fairly good orders on hand, etc., you can continue to hold.
All right, this next one is coming from Satya. He wants a combination view, but let me take your take on this, Kush, because the time frame is just 1 to 2 years. He wants to know about Piramal Pharma as well as CESC. He's thinking about actually accumulate these counters. Do you think it makes sense?
Sure. So Piramal Pharma, again, the stock really hasn't delivered to promise. However, there is a support of the 200-day moving average that the stock is taking and attempting a rebound. My suggestion would be to wait. If 125 is taken out convincingly, that's when, you will get some sort of a momentum. And even from, a medium to a long-term perspective, I think, these are the levels that you should watch for. Once those are taken out, perhaps, there could be some fresh buying emerging. So on Piramal Pharma, the advice would be to wait and watch. CESC, yes, the stock has actually seen some sort of a correction after a sharp run up, but it's making a base around, these 110 levels. So this can be added going forward. And from, a 12 to 18 month kind of a perspective, 135 and, 145 are the targets that one can look at. And 95 is where I would place my stop loss.
All right, moving on then. And Sharmila, the next query is coming in from Janvi from Bangalore, and she wants a fundamental view on Prince Pipes. I'm not sure whether I tracked this one or not, but she's holding 25 shares from a price of 707 rupees. What will be your view on this stock for a medium term?
Sort of a neutral view, but I think you can continue to hold. The valuation seem fairly decent and numbers have been good. So I think, yes, you can continue to hold the stock provided you have a horizon of 12 to 18.
All right, Kush, this was come from Nandagopal from Bangalore. He wants your advice whether it's the right time to go ahead and invest in HDFC Bank as well as Reliance Industries for a period of 1 year. I'm not taking his query on Nalco because we already had actually Sharmila address about Nalco. But what's your take coming in on HDFC Bank and Reliance Industries? Given the fact that they are large caps, it's no brainer that they are supposed to be, or they should rather be, a part of your portfolio for the long term. But for the short term, a period of 1 year, do you think is it advisable to go ahead and dip in right now?
Cheryl, you've made my life easier by saying that, these are stocks that for sure should be a part of your portfolio. Two very divergent stories, aren't they? I mean, HDFC Bank, near, grossly underperforming and, near support zones. So from a rebound perspective, yes, HDFC Bank should be in your portfolio. We do expect the stock to move to 1550 and perhaps even 1700 levels from a 12 to 18 month kind of a horizon. Reliance, the exact opposite. The stock's done fantastically well, and we are constructive on this one as well. So this should also be added at current levels. 3000 and 3150 are the levels that we're looking at on Reliance. So a tale of two cities, but both the stocks deserve an addition in the portfolio.
All right, that's the take coming in on two majors, HDFC Bank as well as Reliance. But with this, viewers, it's time to slip into a very short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. You're watching Buy Now, Sell Now on ET Now. And before we actually slipped into the break, you saw Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressing at the start of Mahakumbh, addressing all the young entrepreneurs and definitely talking about the Indian startup ecosystem, which is now not only limited to the metro cities, it has become a social culture. Apart from that, what he also mentioned is the fact that India's youth has chosen path of being job creators rather than job seeker, and that definitely is a big change that we've seen all across our nation. But on that note, let me actually continue taking a query. Let me bring on board back again Kush Bohra as well as Sharmila Joshi. Thank you so much, Kush, as well as Sharmila, for waiting by patiently while we had to cut to the Prime Minister's address. But let me continue taking queries then. This one has come from Samrat. He's writing to us from Bangalore. He has 200 shares of Sona BLW at 431, 100 shares of Bharat Dynamics. He's not given a buy price for Bharat Dynamics, but he's mentioned whether should he stay put with these counters or go ahead and book profits. So I'm guessing that he is making profits in them, both of them. What's your take, Sharmila? Do you think it makes sense stay put with Sona BLW as well as Bharat Dynamics, or make a switch?
No, I think that both stocks, as you said, Bharat Dynamics as well as Sona BLW. Sona BLW I like quite a bit. I think the current EV policy also will benefit the stock. Overall, the numbers look good, the valuations look decent. So I think, let me just address this, that a lot of queries are on mid caps, and mid caps have been in a correction mode in this last month or so. But I think as long as you have a stock where earnings are good and valuation seem reasonable, I think it makes a lot of sense to stay invested, because you do see these dips in mid caps. But as long as you're on a sort of, with a good stock, where by good stock I mean where earnings are good and the business possibility looks going ahead, then I think it makes a lot of sense to be invested. And I think both these stocks sort of meet that criteria. As I said, I prefer Sona BLW to Bharat Dynamics.
Right. Sharmila, once again coming to you. Why so? Because Rajiv wants an advice on Kansai Narolac, and given the changing dynamics of the paint industry, he wants a view that whether he can go ahead and make an investment for the next 4 to 5 years. So, do you believe it is a right time to enter into Kansai Narolac?
Yes, I think because the valuation look reasonable, and I do understand the concern that what we've really seen is a lot of new entrants have come into the paint space, and that has sort of it has sort of challenged the valuations that these stocks were trading at. But I think that two things I would like to say here. One is that now the valuations have corrected. So from my point of view, Kansai Nerolac volumes seem fairly decent. And also I think that the reason why new players are entering, or why there is an attraction, is that this is a space that is expanding. The market itself is expanding. So nobody really enters into a market where there is no possibility. So to my mind, yes, I think everybody will make adjustments going forward in terms of how they cater to competition. But valuations now seem reasonable for Kansai Nerolac. So yes, I think you could either buy at this price or stay invested if you have the stock.
Sharmila rightly said a lot of our queries actually are from the mid-cap space owing to the correction that we've actually witnessed in the broader markets. But this query is coming to you, Kush, and this query is coming all the way from Japan from our viewer Sunny, who writes to us not so often, but yes, he does write to us. He's a long-term investor though. He's holding Marico about 1,000 shares and wants to know if it's the right idea to average at current levels or wait for some more correction, say around 465 to 470 rupees per share levels. Kush, want to repeat your standard statement?
To, but given the fact that this is a long-term investment kind of a query, let me change the stance a little. Not a bad idea to add some more. It's just that I think he's pointed out quite correctly that the stock is very delicately placed, near the support zones. So I think any dip towards those 450, 460 kind of levels, as a matter of, let's say, an SIP, perhaps would be a good idea to start accumulating at those levels. Again, not a big fan, but there are times and cases when averaging does indeed make sense. For now, just wait for this dip to settle. Should settle somewhere close to about 460, 465. Once that happens, you could consider adding more.
Right, that's the take on Marico. But take a look at the markets. Very smart recovery from the day's lowest points. At one point in time, Nifty was actually down 100 points, close to 100 points. But now Nifty is back in the green territory, reclaiming that 21,800 mark. And look at the recovery in the Nifty Bank as well. It was down about 400 points in the first half of the trading session. And now just a cut of 139 points is what we are seeing on the banking index. And a lot of counters contributing to that. One such counter from the banking space is SBI. Good recovery on that particular stock, but from the Nifty 50, it's the autos that are definitely leading the charts. Eicher Motors and Maruti Suzuki managing to hold on to their top gainers position as of now. So that's the way how the markets are panning out to be. Interesting moves on the markets, but let's move on and let's get back to your stock related queries then. And the next query that I have, Kush, is actually coming in on Concor, where a viewer named Swati is having 10% loss in Concor. So what will be your advice on this one, and what levels that she should be looking out for?
So on Concor, the advice very clearly is to hold. It's taken a beating, as a lot of other, mid-cap stocks have, especially the PSU ones have. But I think 800 to 810 is a strong support zone. The stock's already entered the oversold territory. So even from those levels, a technical rebound is also around the corner. If she can hold on to this for, let's say, next 3 to 6 months, I think she will see the stock, rebound 10%, maybe even higher. So she could actually very well see profits, in this stock in the coming months. It's just that you'll have to be a little patient. But if she does want a strong positional stop loss, then I think 800 should act as well.
Welcome back to Buy Now Sell Now, and let's keep it going with all your stock related queries. And the next query that I have is once again Sharmila for you. I don't know, I'm getting a lot of these fundamental related queries, and this one is on Supreme Industries. The viewer name is Prashant, and he wants a take on Supreme Industries. Is this a good stock to enter at this point in time?
It's a stock, but I wouldn't enter at this price. Maybe let's wait for, we are seeing a corrective sort of a mood in a lot of the mid caps. And to my mind, the PE levels can come a little lower to make it a attractive level to enter. So I'd wait a bit before I enter the stock.
Right. This one is coming from Ramamurthy, writing to us from Bahrain. There are a couple of stocks he's asked views on, but let me take Ashok Leyland and City Union Bank. Kush, what's your take coming in on both of these counters on the charts? I'm not sure if Mr. Ramamurthy has invested in it, but if he's looking to invest in it, how are the charts looking for both of them?
Sure. So City Union Bank perhaps is a wait. The stock could see further dip to about 124 and then about 120 levels. Every rise has been a selling opportunity here, so I'd rather wait before I take any kind of fresh entry in City Union Bank. Ashok Leyland is showing signs of consolidation. It is showing signs of early signs of bottoming out. But here too, if I do enter, I'll enter with a very small quantity. So Ashok Leyland is a buy at current levels for this, for a small quantity. But City Union Bank, perhaps he could wait for further dips.
All right, but with this, viewers, let's kickstart taking all your queries in the rapid fire session. And the first query is for you, Kush. What's the short-term view on Lemon Tree Hotel? Subramaniam is holding 45 shares from a price of 90 rupees.
Continue to hold.
Okay, Mahalakshmi from Hyderabad has written to us, Sharmila. She has 66 shares of Bajaj Finance at an average price of 6,500 rupees per share. She wants to know whether she should partly sell and invest that amount in Jio Financial or Poonawalla Finco for the long term.
I do like Jio Financials, but I like Bajaj Finance as well. So maybe she can put new capital into Jio Finance.
All right, Kush, what will be your view on NBCC? Vivek is holding the shares from a price of 91 rupees. He's sitting at a profit. Good to hold on or book profits?
Book partially, hold the rest of the quantity.
Okay, Sayak has Aisha Motors 20 shares at a price of 3,827 rupees per share. Good to add at these levels and hold for the long term. What's your take coming in, Sharmila?
Yes, definitely need to hold for the long term. To add, maybe you can wait a bit, but yes, you need to hold this for the long term.
Okay, Kush, Krishna is holding 20 shares of Asian Paints from a price of 2,930 rupees. Good time to average out this particular counter and add more?
No, wait for some more time. The dip doesn't really feel as complete, so wait for some more time before adding.
Kush, NCC, Sudha wants to know a right entry level for this counter.
Sure. So the stock has a support about 210. So maybe that's a level that she could look at for a fresh entry.
Okay, Sharmila, after the recent correction in these EV bus makers like Electra, JBM as well as Gensol, any stock that you like at this point in time for a fresh entry? This question is from Sudarshana.
I like Ashok Leyland. I think that's a good stock to look at. If you're in Mumbai and you've seen their double-decker EV air-conditioned bus, it's quite a beautiful bus to look at.
Waiting to see that one, at least in the suburbs, Sharmila. But EPL Limited, if you have a view on that one, 221 is a buy price for Dasarathi. Should he add more or look to exit?
I think you need to hold what you have, but I wouldn't add more.
All right, but with this, viewers, it's time up in this edition of Rapid Fire Session as well as on the Buy Now Sell Now show. Thank you so much, Kush and Sharmila, for joining us today and helping all our viewers resolve their stock-related queries. But with this, it's a goodbye from me and Cheryl and the entire team who put this show together. Thanks so much for watching, but don't go anywhere. Markets at noon will take the action ahead.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.